I'm Ian Thornton. I've been farming at Ealing since 1989, and we currently run 2 dairy farms, and this wetland here is on the corner of our original farm. This wetland has always been here, and I've looked over the fence quite often in the early days and thought one day I might be able to do something with that. We basically got into clearing a lot of the willows, gorse, broom, old man's beard, you name it. And scattered among that were quite a few natives. Initially, for the first few years, planting was pretty slow, and we just did a sort of a mass weed clearance for probably 2 to 3 years on a lot of the areas we've planted. But in the last couple of years we've been able to really get into planting, and we've been planting about 1,500 plants a year, mainly ribbonwood, carnuka, carex sector, and mingi, and also flax as well. And we're finding the more recent plantings are a lot more successful. We're also planting them in the right place to match the right plant, which is a learning curve that we've been through. What I've also learned is we had a fairly big issue with pests, particularly hares. They're not the issue now, but initially they were. There's also a trapping program going on here with Araphanua, who are on the Rangitata, and we've actually got stoat and weasel traps going right along every 100 metres, and I think there's about 6 or 7 they've put in down on the wetland, and they're catching quite a few. It's a long-term project, and you've just got to be a wee bit put up with a few weeds. When we initially organised our first planting, we had about 500 plants, and I wasn't quite sure how we were going to do it, so I contacted the Hines School, and the whole of the school came down, and it was a great day. The kids were split up into 4 different groups, and they were looking at different things. Like, they weren't all planting. Some were doing looking at the bugs in the water, or looking for fungi or insects. They were looking at invertebrates. They were doing all sorts of things. It's a great spot down there for kids. And in the future, that's probably I see it as something that is available for community groups once it gets a bit more established. With this project, that having it as a QE2 covenant means that it's going to get looked after. What I'd like to see here is once we get a lot more native plant seeding, there's a lot more natural reseeding, and we're starting to see a bit of it now. And it's quite good. The plans that we've got, that area over there is all planted in the driest area in carnuka. Well, that could be 10, 15, 20 feet or metres high maybe. This swamp here will be a lot more developed, and round the edges we've planted ribbonwoods right round, basically, to catch up with those ones there. It's going to look a lot different, and I think we're trying to get it back to as how it was originally, but we're never quite going to get there, but it's going to be pretty close.